Well, hey guys, it's Catherine. If you have been following me this week, you know we had a really fun lead up to our big news. We had these really fun images and photographs, and I was so excited to have my girls along with me on that. And did anybody see our video? How fun was that? Made me laugh, especially the ending with Eva and the gum. Oh my gosh, that was hysterical. If you missed it, I'll link below. Also, I'm going to link to my blog post because I'm probably going to get chatty and I'm going to forget some things that I wanted to tell you. So be sure to head over to the blog post listed below if you're on YouTube or another social media channel so you see all of the details. So the big announcement is that Catherine Pooler Designs is coming out with ink. Yay! We've been working on this since January, and part of why it's taken us so long is because I wanted to get this right. I, as a consumer, have found several issues when it comes to ink, and I wanted to solve them in my line. So the first issue that I see is that as a consumer, when I'm trying to figure out what colors to buy, I go to a company's website and I see all the beautiful, fabulous, wonderful colors, but I don't know which ones go together. So we are starting with one line of ink, and we've named it the Party Collection. And all of these inks are going to be rich, vibrant, saturated rainbow colors. So you know that they go together. So for instance, if you have a lime green ink pad, you want a rich, vibrant, saturated pink to go with it. You don't want a grayed down muted rose. And sometimes it's really hard to tell when you're looking on a computer screen, or even if you're in the store, the color on the lid doesn't always exactly match what ends up being stamped on your paper, right? So with this collection, you're going to notice it says Party Collection right on the ink pad. You can see that. And then I've chosen all the names to be party names. So Fiesta Blue screams party to me, right? And also, I forget how to spell turquoise most of the time. So this is easy. Fiesta Blue. Rockin' Red, enough said. Orange Twist, so twist, 1950s move. That was a really good twist, wasn't it? No. And then grass skirt, so luau, you're gonna wear a grass skirt and you're gonna go to a luau party, right? So just by looking at the names, you're gonna know which colors go together. Now let's head over to the stamp table so I can show you exactly what I love about this particular ink formulation. So we have a good number of ink colors coming out in 2017, but these first 5 ink colors, you're going to be able to get your hands on them very soon, and later in the week I'm going to tell you how. And some other products you're going to see in this video you may not recognize, but keep your eye out, you're going to see them later. Catherine Pooler Designs is coming out with white cardstock, 100 pound, 100 bright, 30 sheets. So this is you fold it in half and you have a card base. So the ink was actually formulated to go perfectly with this paper. So you are going to see when I ink up my stamp and I stamp it down, I get, look at that, a perfectly bold, solid image. No splotchiness, nothing. It's just perfect. So there's a lot of inks on the market that I have trouble getting a full, solid, bold image. I deal with a lot of splotchy images, and this ink is also very vibrant. So the color is super rich and just vibrant. So another problem I have is after I stamp a dark color like black, I'm going to wash it off now on my chamois, and I'm going to stamp on scratch paper until it's clear. See, I'm not transferring any black ink on this white cardstock or this white scratch paper now. And then I go into a lighter ink color, and when I stamp it, that is not orange. Tap it off some more, and you can see this ink is transferring all over the place. It's making my ink pad dark, and it's going to take me a while to really work with this stamp to get it clean and not do that. So let me try this again. I'm going to stamp it off on my scratch paper. Actually, let me clean it first. And then I'm going to stamp it to make sure it's clean. No black is coming off. Okay, see? No black came off on my, oh, you can't see that. No black is coming off on my scratch paper. And then I'm going to go into the Catherine Pooler Orange Twist. I'm going to ink it up. And I have an orange flower. So it just doesn't transfer the dark color that you used before, and you can get a clear, bold color and not a muddied one. And I love that about these inks. Another thing I love about these inks is the actual material that it's made out of. Now you can see I do have a little bit of a mark where my stamp was the last time, but like I showed you, it's not transferring that ink. It's a full, bold, perfect orange image. These are made out of foam. So most of us are used to felt pads, and with felt pads, we have to press really hard and stamp, 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 and twist and turn and pat. And these inks, it's just a light tap, 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 stamp. It's so easy to stamp with them. It's just light tap, tap, tap. Laurel Beard says just a little love tap. So if you go just a little love tap, stamp, you're good to go. So it's easy. If you push down too hard, you know what? I'm gonna get a little bit more detailed stamp because I want to show you what happens if you push down too hard. You guys ready for me to make a mess? You're pushing down, you're smashing that stamp on the ink pad just like we're used to, and look, ink everywhere. And then you push down really hard and you get kind of a spread out gunky image. So let me show you what it looks like when you do just a little tap, 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 just a little pressure when you stamp, and look at that. It's just perfect. Now here's another quick example. If you have a little stamp like this that has detail like this, just be sure to not over ink it or push down too hard, because see what happens when you do, you lose all that detail. Now if you've ever done stamping off, or another name for it is second generation stamping, these inks are fabulous for that as well. So stamp twice and you get 2 different shades of the same color. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. These inks are juicy. So they're inky and they're juicy and they're wonderful. When you stamp it, if you brush over right away, well, I didn't that time, but sometimes in the first few seconds you might get a little bit of smudging. These are dye inks, so if you add water to them, you can watercolor with them, but they do still dry pretty quickly. But you do, okay, here, let me grab my Wow embossing powder. You have a minute here if you want to do some embossing. So I'm going to add my embossing powder right over this flower. I'm going to tap this right back into the pot and see how the embossing powder stuck to my image. So now I'll take my heat tool and I'm going to heat that up. And just like that, I have an embossed sparkly, because this is Wow Clear Sparkle Embossing Powder. Clear embossed sparkly orange flower. So it's an embossing ink too. Let me turn my cardstock over and show you another feature. Because these stay wet just for a little bit, you have some room to work. And if you have an ink blending tool and a sponge, you can do some sponging or blending with these inks. So see how beautifully that goes on. You guys know I'm not very patient, and I usually get a really streaky looking background when I do this. I'm just doing a light hand here, and I'm kind of taking my time, and look how beautiful that sponging is. Now a lot of us like to use water and do fun techniques. Let's see what happens when we splash some water on there. I'm going to let it sit for a second. It's reacting with the water. I can just let it dry, or I can dab it up, and you can see that it reacts to the water. So you get a cool water flicked background. And just a quick difference between our ink pads. They're both dye inks, but the black is an archival ink and it's permanent, so it's waterproof. These inks are not waterproof. Just note that difference. And then quickly, I talked about watercoloring. I'm not going to go into great detail, but there's a couple ways you can watercolor. I'm just spreading ink on my palette here, and then I can just do a color wash, or I can color in images or whatever. The ink is going to work great that way. And you can see the black is waterproof, and also you can get ink on the lid and do the same thing. Another great benefit of the black is that it's good for Copic markers. Well, thanks for joining me today as I introduce my new line of inks. I'm super excited to get these in your hands. As I was filming, I felt myself being a little shaky. I don't know if you guys noticed, maybe I hit it well, but I've been working on these for so long, and I worked so hard to get them just the way I wanted them and make my perfect ink pad. Now remember, they're foam. If you've been used to felt, they're going to take just a little bit of a learning curve. One of our designers, Lisa, when she first got them, she wasn't so sure about them because she wasn't used to them. But after a couple days of playing with them, she is sold and she absolutely loves them. So that is a huge testimonial to me. The rest of the design team, as they've gotten their ink pads, it was so so exciting to me to hear the reviews, because it turns out that they love these ink pads as much as I do. So I'm excited for you to get them and to hear what you think. And I guess that's it for now. So stay tuned. This week I'm going to tell you how you can get the first 5 colors, because the rest aren't coming out until January. So thanks for being here and sharing in this super exciting moment. And if you are not subscribed to my newsletter yet, please hop over to catherinepluler.com. There are some free PDF project guides waiting for you. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, the whole 9 yards, because I'm all over the place. Thanks for visiting. I'll see you soon.